I did not expect box perspective to be such a big part of this book. There's like 70 pages straight of box POV. I don't... Hi, welcome back. Happy New Year. My name is Emma, or Stitch by Emma. I crochet and I knit and I talk a lot. And today I just kind of wanted to do like a catch-up video. We're going to talk about what goals did I meet from my 2024 goals that I wrote down. It's some. It's not all, but it's some. I wrote down my goals for 2025 for January, fashion ins and outs, regular ins and outs, and we're gonna be working on a top. We're gonna crochet while we talk, okay? I'm working on a Victoria top, which, I know, we're all sick of the Victoria top, whatever. If you haven't seen me before, the Victoria top is one of my favorite patterns that I've written. I released it this year, and I made so many of them. It took me so long to get this pattern released because it took like 5 different prototypes in order to make sure that it worked, and to make it comfortable, to make it accessible, and once I got that down, which was so exciting. It was such a good moment for me. I made one perfect one super perfect Victoria top that I posted on Instagram and on TikTok, and every time I wore it, the video would blow up. Even if it wasn't about the top, if I was wearing that top, the video blew up. And then I did a pop-up, and it was like the only piece that sold, and like, of course, I am so grateful it sold. I am so glad it sold. Thank you so much to the girl who bought it. I think about you every day, and I love you. But I missed the top, and I've never recreated something for myself. I have never directly recreated a piece of mine, whether it sold, or I just undid it, or I lost it. I didn't lose anything. What the fuck am I talking about? I've never lost a piece that I've made. But no matter what, like, I have never directly recreated a piece because my brain just like doesn't like to do that. I don't like to directly recreate something I've already made. Once I made it, and it either works or it doesn't, and I don't want to do it again once I've done it. But I loved this top so much that I cannot bear to not have it in my life anymore. So we're recreating it right now. Victoria top in white with like an earthy trim. It's gonna be gorgeous, it's gonna be beautiful, and it's gonna be my first piece of the year, and it's gonna set me off to a good start. Okay, anyway, let's jump into 2024 goals. I had a list of goals for the year. I wrote them all down at the beginning of the year. I edited some mid-year because I reached them, and then I wanted to like up the ante a little bit, or I wanted to mark down that I reached it. I'll show this list to the side here. I'm taking off the check marks that I put next to the things that I reached so you can sit in suspense. Okay, you can sit in suspense and wonder if I achieved it. My first and biggest goal of the year was to move out of my family's house. Now, here's the thing. I love my family so much. I have lived here since I graduated college, and it's been really hard to find a place to live. I have searched far and wide. I had roommate struggles galore. I thought I had a place I was gonna move into way back in like March, and then one of my best friends who I was gonna move in with ghosted me. It was nuts. Hold on, let's put a pillow under my elbows to help me crochet better. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. My original goal in my head was to move out by my 25th birthday, which was in November. And I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe I'm gonna turn 25 living in my childhood bedroom. And you know what? Everybody's on different paths. Everything takes a different amount of time. And I thought that I was screwed after that happened. And then I found a girl on Facebook Marketplace, subleasing her place for a re-sign. It was super affordable. It was super cute. Great location. At the buzzer, I hit that. I signed within the last 2 weeks of the year. So consider this one met. I am really excited. I know that my background has kind of been like a staple on my YouTube and my Instagram and my TikTok for the past like 3 years. So I have been very excited to be like, I'm moving, it's gonna be different. Even though I don't know who would care, TBH, but I am moving, and I am so excited because this is the first time that a place is going to be truly mine. And I'm gonna have my own bathroom, and I'm gonna have my own space. I haven't had this ever. So I am really, really, really excited. I move in like 17 days now? Holy shit. Yeah, I move in like 2 weeks. It's insane. It's insane. It's moving so fast. I'm so excited. I have zero furniture. I'm starting completely from scratch. Everything is gonna be antiqued and thrifted and marketplaced, and it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be mine. It's gonna be mine. And I feel like my life is beginning. And even though I know that it's been begun for a while, there is no time when your life begins. You are always living. I have been living, and I need to remind myself that like there's no time when life starts or ends except for birth and death. Oh God, we're getting deep. But this is a very exciting development for me. I feel like it's going to be much easier for me to like focus on different aspects of like my job once I move, because trying to film anything in this house is like good fucking luck, man. People are talking, people are yelling, there's music blasting at all times, there's a dog barking. I'm excited. That's part of the reason why I feel like I haven't been able to like commit myself to YouTube, because every time I sit down to film, I get so frustrated by some like external noise that is just like stressing me out too much. We're about to enter an era, you and I, of self-improvement and development. Okay, second goal, I wanted to get a tattoo. I have been planning on getting a tattoo for a while. I would like to get a butterfly on my arm. So basic, I know, but it has personal meaning to me, as well as just like I like how it looks aesthetically. But anyway, I was gonna go with my boyfriend, not to get matching tattoos, but just be like, we both want a tattoo and the emotional support is like good. And then we were like, okay, we're gonna go after summer because you don't want it to get exposed to sun and I don't want to have to like stay back from the beach or like stay back from, you know, fun summer activities. And then we were gonna go on vacation together in November, and we were like, okay, we're gonna go after vacation because we don't want to have to worry about ruining a tattoo on vacation. And then he tore his ACL and vacation got canceled, and now he's bedridden after surgery. So tattoos are gonna happen in February or March, or maybe after summer. I want it to happen eventually. That's something that I don't really care if this happens or not. It's just like fun for me. It's supplemental. Get a cat and name her Buffy. This one is out because I didn't get a place. We're gonna move this one on to next year or maybe the year after. I don't know if I'm gonna be responsible enough for a cat in my first year of living alone. I'm trying to be realistic here. This one was it's not gonna happen. Be reached out to by a celebrity stylist. That did not happen, but I like to manifest and I like to dream big and reach for the stars, and I knew that probably wasn't gonna happen, but if I throw it on every single year, who knows? Who knows? Finally start a YouTube. I wonder what the answer is to that one. Hello. Okay, the next two are kind of in conjunction. Launch my website and release 3 patterns. So the website was in talks for so long, and I really thought that like it was one of those things that like I was gonna be all talk and then I was gonna chicken out and be like, I'm not good enough, and that mindset is so fucking stupid, and I've been getting out of that mindset all year. Like, just do it, just try. If it flops, it flops. Oh well. And in the first week or two, I thought it was a flop. I launched it and I cried because I was like, nobody is buying anything. I'm getting 0 sales. I'm $300 in the garbage. I used Squarespace. It was pretty reasonably priced, but like if you're not getting any sales from something that you spent $300 on, you're gonna cry. I was dumb. I was stupid. You just have to keep pushing. Nothing is gonna take off right away. I kept posting about it. I kept sharing. It's a success. It's a success. It was worth the investment. I am so happy I did. And then launched 3 patterns. So originally I had 3 ideas for the year. I wanted to do the Swan Lake skirt, the butterfly shrug, and then the Victoria top, and those are my 3. And then I eventually threw in the Eloise cardigan as well, and I released 4 before the end of the year. Not all the patterns were a total success. Eloise did not do that well for being my one that was just thrown in there. I try not to get discouraged if a pattern doesn't take off right away or even at all, because it's something that's like always going to be out there, and if one day it just like magically finds its audience, you never know. You never know. And I have so many patterns. I hit my 10. I hit my 10 pattern mark this year, which is insane. So yeah, I am nothing but grateful for any like support on any of my patterns, even if like it only gets like 20 sales or something. Amazing. Thank you so much. I love you. I appreciate you. Seeing anybody wear one of my designs, even if literally only one person is wearing it, makes my heart flutter and soar and feel like I have achieved my purpose in life if I see somebody feel confident and beautiful in something I designed. It's something that is unmatched and that I never thought I would feel. I remember drawing up little designs in my mom's closet when I was little. I would hide in her closet with a notebook and some colored pencils, and I would draw designs. And if that little girl could see me today, that would be beautiful. My next goal was see my friends more. It's a nothing burger goal, but like I achieved it. I was booked and busy all the time. I saw my friends all the time. I love my friends to death. I have even more friends now than I did at the start of the year, even though I have less in some ways, but like that's for the better. Yeah, I set a goal to hit 1,000 sales on Etsy. When we went into this new year, I think I had like 400 sales, and I was like 1,000 might be shooting too high. I might be reaching for the stars, but then I ended up hitting 1,000 in like April or May. I was shocked. So I pushed it up to 2,000, and I was like, this one, it's just to have a new number. It's just to have a new metric, and I hit 2,000 before the end of the year, which is insane. It's insane. Thank you so much, like literally so much. I struggle to like process that even happened. I started a Ravelry this year, and I haven't gotten a single sale off of Ravelry, even though I only put one pattern in, but Ravelry scares me, so I think maybe it's for the better. It's for the better, maybe, that, you know, my other platforms are doing a little better. So this is one that I added. I wanted to get monetized on YouTube after starting the YouTube, because like I said, I was afraid to start the YouTube. I didn't know if I would. So once I actually did, I wanted to get monetized. And I did. I did. And you know what? I haven't been too active on here because I get weird about this app. I don't know. It's one that I have a lot more self-doubt with. You would have thought that once I got monetized, I would have been on that shit immediately, like posting every single day. And no, I freaked out instead. The opposite happened. I got monetized and I like immediately went into like imposter syndrome, self-doubt, and like stopped posting. We're getting out of that mindset in 2025. We are leaving that shit in 2024. I am nothing but a confident woman who is going to share my life and share my passions, and you're gonna like it. My last goal was to sell 3 physical pieces. This is one that I actually did not have any faith in. I didn't think I would, but I wound up selling 9, which is amazing. It says 8 on the note, but I forgot to factor in a commission that I took at the very end of the year for Christmas presents. So I ended up selling 9 physical pieces, which is nuts. Like, that's never happened before. So, and I know that number doesn't seem very big, but I'm much more of a pattern seller. It's hard to get traction in physical pieces. The things that I sell are more of just like one-offs that I create, and then I'm like, okay, this was like the prototype, we're gonna sell this. I made one in a color that I like better, let's keep this one and sell this one. You know, I'm not like making to sell necessarily or doing major drops, but that's something I'd like to kind of work on next year. So those are my goals for 2024. Now let's look at 2025 and see. I wrote everything down on paper, like we're old school. Da, 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 da. My first goal is to purchase a real camera. And like I said, I want to take YouTube more seriously, especially with the potential looming ban of a different app that helps me make a lot of my money. I hope to God, I pray to God that something happens that keeps it, and I want to feel a little bit optimistic, cautiously optimistic. But that being said, I know that you get a lot more engagement and views and push if you have like actual good, you know, quality. And I am using my phone right now. There's nothing wrong with it, but I would really like to be able to invest a little bit more in my quality on here, give y'all the best I can give. So I am trying to invest in a real camera, which I'm hoping I can do this week. And then my next goal after that is to be more consistent with YouTube, 1 video a week minimum. That's right. I'm committing, and you have to hold me to it. Somebody has to call me like an ugly, stupid, pathetic loser if I don't post. I need you guys like in my DMs demeaning me, degrading my self-worth. No, don't do that. I'm actually I'm too weak for that. Release 4 new patterns. Since I set it to 3 last year and did 4, I think 4 is a perfect number. I think 4 is a perfect number for patterns. You do like 1 for each season. You get like the tests out at the beginning of the year. You get everything just kind of like shaped around that. I think that's good. And then in addition to the 4 new patterns, I would like to do 1 YouTube tutorial video with a written pattern supplement. This one is a little bit more like, I'm reaching, but I would like to do either the mermaid top or the asymmetrical cardigan. And then I know I've talked before about doing my corset with bell sleeves. That might just be written. That one is a little bit, that's probably the trickiest of all the patterns that I have in mind. The patterns that I want to do this year are as follows. The Aurora top is going to be first. That one I've already kind of like started brainstorming and working on, and I have the prototype ready, and the prototype was perfect. So that is my first one. The second one I want to do is this unnamed, beautiful, lacy, gothic going out top that can either have sleeves or no sleeves. I think it's really, really gorgeous. And now we get to my 2 difficult ones where thinking about writing the pattern kind of makes me want to throw up, but I also get really excited because I know that people really like them. The rose fillet skirt, and like I said, the corset top with bell sleeves. Both stunning, both complex. I get nervous to write complex patterns because I will write in the description, this is intermediate to advanced, this is not for beginners, and I'll get a review like 3 stars. This was not for beginners. Girl, I told you, I warned you, you gotta learn how to read. My next goal, I have 2 website drops, which would be awesome. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do my best. I'm not gonna hold myself to any high standards with that one. I'm just going to release what works. I'm going to go with the flow. I added be reached out to by a celebrity stylist. Like I said, I'm gonna add that every year until it happens. I think I have some pieces that would look gorgeous on people. And I'm just gonna keep getting better and better. So like, my current Etsy metric is I'd like to try and reach 4,000 sales on Etsy. I know that that's kind of shooting big based on like how much I made this year, but if things go well, and they went on the same track that it did this year, on the same track of growth, it's possible. It's possible. We kind of get away from crochet goals here and more just into life, side hustle. Once I move, I'm gonna be like living by myself, I'll be alone, I'll have a lot of time on my hands. I would like to get a side hustle job. There's gonna be a yarn store by where I live. It'd be really nice if I could pick up something there. Probably just like part-time waitress or find a vintage store to work at. That would be awesome. That's awesome. To start a band is my next one. I've always wanted to be in a band. It's my dream to be in a band. I have a lot of very musically inclined friends. I have a lot of music business inclined friends as well. So I don't know. Something's gonna happen. I would like to do Pilates 2 times a week. I already kind of do this, but sometimes it slips into 1 time a week. Sometimes I get too cold to put on workout clothes and it slips into 0. So I want to be a little more active, a little more healthy in that sense. I'd like to explore the city more. Like I said, I'm moving. I'm going to be living there. I spend a lot of my time in the city, but I don't really get to explore it much because I'm kind of like with other people a lot. So now that I'm going to have a lot of more me time there, I would like to explore. I would like to finish 20 books. I read 8 books in 2024 and this is gonna sound really bad. I didn't start reading until like halfway through the year. In my brain, reading is something that I didn't really like feel like I could do. I would feel like reading was wasting my time, and then I'd be like, wait, but I spend like all my time on my phone or crocheting, obviously, but that's work. This is my job. So I was like, if I'm reading, I'm just kind of like wasting time. That's not true. I'm currently reading Wicked. I'm a musical theater kid at heart, so this show has been a huge crucial part of my development since I was 8 years old. The book is very different, which I knew going into it. I knew it was going to be a different story. I'm liking it so far. I'm liking it so far. I'm 100 pages in. I did not expect box perspective to be such a big part of this book. There's like 70 pages straight of box POV. Ethan Slater. Anyway, fuck that guy. Not Bach necessarily, even though Ethan Slater, I'd like to have a word. I'd like to have a word with you. Ethan Slater's in my outs list. Anyway, I feel like I would like to read 20 books. I have like 5 laying around my room that I'd like to read in the first place. I love going to thrift stores and finding books because people donate so many books, and you can literally find like the popular stuff or like the classics or things that you want to read. If I go to Savers, I would literally come home with like 5 books. It's a beautiful thing. I would like to create 3 to 4 new fresh designs that could go into patterns for 2026. This is looking so far ahead, but that's how like I've been working lately. Is I'll create a couple new designs throughout the year that I don't do anything with, and I just know in my head that that's going to be a part of my next pattern season. So right now I'm focusing on like those 4 that I highlighted earlier, and then I'd like to come up with some stuff. This is totally like, there is nothing in my brain right now. It is empty, it is smooth, something will come to me eventually. I want to have a little dinner party. This is so simple, but I was telling my boyfriend like earlier, before I had this apartment signed, before I had my lease, back when I thought that I'd be living in my parents' house forever and I would die in my childhood bedroom because I just felt so hopeless about not being able to find anything, I was like, I think my lifelong dream is to host a little dinner party with some friends and have the place be very cutely lit by like candles and dim lamps, and to wear my vintage 70s white lace nightgown dress. And he was like, that seems like a very attainable goal. That's a great goal to have because you're going to meet it. So I'm definitely meeting this one this year. Maybe like a little springtime dinner party. I think that just sounds amazing. And then we can go to a karaoke bar afterwards. I wrote down to sell 10 physical items. Knowing that I was able to accomplish 9 this year, it makes me think that if I stay consistent with the website, I can reach 10 eventually, because I didn't launch my website until August and I hit 9. So being able to have this for the whole year, I think it's possible. I do, but I'm not going to beat myself up if I don't do it. And then my last goal is to see the beauty in everything around me. Now let's do the ins and outs so we can be positive and then super negative. I actually don't have that many outs, just a couple things that like piss me off. We're gonna start with my ins. Fashion-wise, some of my ins are asymmetry, randomly placed zippers and buttons, medieval revival, and super exaggerated sleeves. If you've seen my work, I love to do a big sleeve, a bell sleeve. I think it's just really flattering, and that goes along with like the medieval look. I'm obsessed with anything asymmetrical. I love when things don't really make sense. I love when they look out of the box. I love when things look funky and weird. And those have been in my ins for like the past 3 or 4 years. That's something about me that just doesn't change. I have accessorizing with lace. I have like a thrifted thing of lace that I would just add to everything, as a headband, as like an exaggerated neck accessory, as a belt. I put it into one of my Swan Lake skirts though, and it's been a part of that skirt like eternally now, so I need to find a new lace to accessorize with. But I think that is just so chic. I think it always looks so good to just throw lace randomly around things. Like, it looks so unique. I have free-handed work on here. I think working freehand is something that people don't allow themselves to do enough, but I'm talking about crocheting and knitting. But when you crochet and knit, I think a lot of people are afraid to kind of just like duke it out with themselves and try something new, and I think that more people need to like have confidence in themselves and try that. I have thrifted yarn and itchy sweaters. I think more people need to try to thrift their yarn. Not that like it's something that I would shame you if you don't, obviously, but I think you can find so much cool stuff thrifting, and a lot of people don't really think to look there. So like just research craft thrift stores in your area, or even like Goodwill. Sometimes people will just throw stuff away. Like I would look, I would give it a shot. And then I say itchy sweaters because there are so many gorgeous vintage sweaters that I think people don't realize that you just gotta wear a t-shirt underneath to wear to make it comfortable. Layer that sweater, wear it, and people are always like, there's no good sweaters anymore, but they don't want to wear vintage itchy sweaters. Sometimes it's the price you have to pay. And one more fashion one, wearing slips and petticoats as slips and petticoats. I see so many people be like, I can't wear this because it's sheer. This is sheer. What do I wear? A slip! Wear a slip. That's what it's for. And then I am obsessed with like antique petticoats. You can find them on eBay and Etsy sometimes for like $20 to $30. The poof, the regal majestic poof that you get from stuff like that under your clothes, it is so sick. It is so cool. I don't want to say I think we should bring that back, because like I don't think anything has to be back for you to wear, but I do think people need to appreciate more the proper usage of slips and petticoats and get back in it, get on it. Now for the non-fashion ones, spending money, but wisely. Here's the thing, for me personally, I am like terrified of not having enough money. I can be afraid of spending money. I think I need to be more okay with being like, I have money. It's okay to spend it. It's okay to spend stuff. It's okay to go out. It's like, as long, obviously, and I add the wisely after that, because obviously like, don't go blow $1,000 every single week on things you don't need. Don't do that just because you're like self-care. No. Be wise, be smart, but like, it's okay. That's what I'm trying to tell myself about like buying a camera. Like, it's an investment. You never treat yourself. Like, it's okay. In a similar vein, going out and seeing friends. This is gonna like weave into my outs as well, but people are being really weird about having friends and wanting to stay in, and I've been seeing this more and more on social media of people just like not wanting to spend time with friends and saying that like they never ever want to go out. Like, you're young, have fun. I'm not saying go black out every single day, but like, you can stay in for the rest of your life, every single day of your life if you wanted to. If somebody invites you out to do something, nourish your friendships. Nourishing relationships is in 2025. And my last thing is weekly movies. I'm gonna live closer to a movie theater, and I want to go to the movies a lot more. I thought that I went to the movies so much this year, and then I looked at my letterbox, and the only ones that I actually saw in theaters, I only saw 12 movies in theaters total, which is only one a month, which to me, that doesn't cut it. I love going to the movies, and my friends invited me to so many movies that I couldn't make it to because they were in the city and I was stuck in the burbs and traffic was too much, so I'm very excited to be there. Now for the moment you've all been waiting for, the negativity section. And I really don't have that many outs. I don't, because I'm trying to be positive. But number one is overcharging on vintage. Some of you are trying to be vintage sellers and you don't understand that just because something is vintage does not mean it's not worth $300. If it is stained and ripped and damaged beyond belief, the price goes down. The price goes down. If I see one more like stained Charlotte Russe top with rips in the armpit for like $75, I'm going to lose my mind. My next one I touched on in my ins, but the concept of decentering friendship, don't do that. Don't do that. Why would you do that? This is a concept I am seeing on Twitter so much. People being like, I'm really deciding to like put more time into decentering my friends and you guys, that's a horrible idea. You can't decenter everybody else in your life. That's called being a narcissist. There has been an emphasis on isolation and on staying in and on like self-care, and self-care is so important. It's important to have time to yourself. It's important to take care of yourself. It's important to have a night in if you need it. But oh my God, having relationships with other people is so important. It is literally so important. I see so many people on Twitter who are like, I don't like other people, I ditch my friends every single night, I don't want to see people, I don't want people to come to my house, I don't want to see my friends, and then they're like, I have no friends, I'm so sad and lonely. You need to put effort into relationships. We are nourishing relationships in 2025. Decentering friendship is a horrible idea. 100% polyester. There is a very specific polyester feel in a lot of fast fashion clothes that I am feeling in the thrift stores. It is skin crawlingly gross. I feel it and the hairs on my arm stand up and my body freezes in place. I don't know how to describe it. It's the worst texture I've ever felt in my life. Just stop. Just stop. Natural fibers in 2025. I'd be a fraud if I said I didn't own anything polyester. Of course I do. That's just the world we live in. But I don't like the way it's feeling on me anymore, and I would like to try and invest more in pieces that actually make me feel good. And again, like making clothes myself has attributed to this a lot because I've been working with a lot more like 100% cotton or 100% wool or merino and stuff, and just like I become so picky. I become such a snob, low-key, which is why I do so much thrifting and online thrifting and scavenging, because I can't afford to be constantly buying brand new natural fiber stuff. Are you crazy? Color seasons, body type, aesthetic grouping, anything that gives you a self-restriction over what you can wear and how you can express yourself. I hate seeing people wearing an outfit that they say that they love, but then they say that they feel like they can't wear it because it doesn't match their color season or their body type, or it's not like the right expression of aesthetics that they think that they should be presenting. Live your life. Life is so fucking short, and if you spend all of it obsessing over like if this is shaping your waist correctly, or if this gives the right cut to your shoulders to make them look more broad or less broad, or if it's making your legs look longer, oh my God, you're gonna regret it. You're gonna regret it. I regret it. I regret trying to dress certain ways when I was younger because I thought that it would like accentuate me better. It's so silly. It is so silly. And so many people are just trying to make money off of your insecurities. We are done letting other people make money off of our insecurities this year. We're gonna give an honorable mention to outs because I feel like it doesn't even need to be said, but AI. Anything AI. Literally anything. I just watched the Drew Gooden video on like the YouTube automated AI responses last night. It was so funny, but also like so concerning. I see that all the time in my like responses to the comments. From that to anything generative to any, God, I just hate all of it. It boils my blood so much. I didn't even want to mention it because I know that I'm going to just feel so angry if I think about it. So we're gonna move on. But AI is out and it's done. And I hate it. Which leads us into our last one. Being so stupid. As bad as it sounds, I saw a TikTok comment yesterday and it said, "Wait, I'm so confused. I just saw the movie and I can't figure out if Count Orlok is supposed to be Nosferatu." Now, I don't know how many of you have seen Nosferatu yet, or how many of you are going to. If that's your thing, it's certainly mine. It is very, 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 very clear that Count Orlok and Nosferatu are interchangeable. That they are one. That is one person. Every time I see, and God, we're gonna have to go back to AI for a second. Every time I see one of those AI generated videos of it's like Snow White if it was live action, but AI, and it's just people going, you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about, where they like, and it's so disturbing. And then I look in the comments and they're like, I wish every movie looked like this. And then I saw somebody say, you know what, we're actually gonna add an out. We're gonna add an out to this, and it's just gonna be one long rant for a second. I made a TikTok about this, but I saw somebody be like, I wish that like all movies and music were just entirely AI generated so that we could stop feeding people's delusions into thinking that like music and movies and acting and art are like real careers. Like, we need to stop feeding their delusions. And I felt sick to my stomach. That is such a dangerous mentality to have, that nobody should be an artist and that all life should just be plugging stuff into Excel or being an engineer. I don't know. Of course that's important. Of course that's important to society, but we are losing touch with something human in ourselves if we are denying the fact that art is important and that real people making art is important. Because God, it is so important, especially now. It is so important to be reminded of our humanity and to share our stories with each other and to be touched by each other, you know, like emotionally, not physically necessarily. Like, that's important too, but I'm talking about like the heart, the brain. I mean, let's just add that like fascism is out too, even though I feel like that's on its way in. But yeah, being stupid as a whole, whether that's falling into AI traps or falling for tradwife propaganda. I just feel like from reading comments and watching videos and reading tweets and engaging with anybody on the internet, being almost purposefully stupid is at an all-time high, and it's really concerning. And the anti-intellectualism of it all, and acting like reading books is bad, and oh my God, I'm scared for the future. But we're gonna go back to my goal of see the beauty in everything, everywhere. That's what we gotta do to get through this. Sorry to end on such a cryptic note there, but that was my recap of 2024 and my look into my 2025, which hopefully will be great despite all of the things that I just said scare me. If you liked any of the patterns that I mentioned during this video, I sell all of them on my website and my Etsy, and I also have a couple pieces listed on my website right now. I'm hoping to add a couple more within the next month or so. If you're interested, check that out. I make new pieces and new patterns quite often if you would like to follow on my other socials to keep up with that. Hopefully I will be seeing you again very soon with better quality, a new camera, and a new home. So thank you so much for watching. I hope everybody is having an incredible start to their year, and I hope that you have the most beautiful year yet, but not the most beautiful year you will ever have, because it will just keep getting better from here.